Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. This is our first class and the class of the professional management. So I'm going to start with the introduction to project management. Basically, what is project management is all about is how can you manage a project. So basically, if you are an engineer, or maybe in the future career, you will need to manage a project. So it is very important for you to understand regarding what is project and how to manage a project successfully. So this subject is on project management itself. So basically, in this teaching plan guide, which has been provided by the lecturers in this course, there will be a number of topics will be covered in this course. So I will be responsible to teach you at the first 3 weeks of this subject, which will cover on week 1, week 2 and week 3. So basically in week 1, what I will be explaining to you is regarding the defining project management and the introduction regarding project management. And on week 2, I will include on identifying project needs and what are the solutions to make project management successful. And it should covers the manager, the structure of the organization, and also the team members of the projects. Week 3 will covers establishing project schedules, where you have already identified the project that you would like to execute, and then it is time for you to plan how the project will be implemented or executed. It will also covers a little bit on the how to budget the implementation of the project. The assignment will be given based on these 3 chapters, and the question will be posed to you as soon as possible for you to perform the assignment which has been earlier explained to you by IR Rosdisham as the course coordinator. So the rest of the week or the rest of the topics will be covered by other lecturers, which has been mentioned by earlier in the course explanation. And hopefully the midterm test will be conducted once the date is finalized, and the time and the venue of the midterm test will be informed to you as early as possible. So in order to understand this management for engineers, we talk about the world of project management itself that you would explore in your career path. So when you talk about project, so sometimes people confuse when they say is process is a project, or a program is project, or even a task is a project, right? So these kind of terms and definitions sometimes confuse when we talk about project management. So it is very important for you to understand the different of these words that's been mentioned by peoples in the field of project management. So hopefully by the end of this course, you will understand the differences between processes, program, task and project. So there are project and also a process. So if usually a project means that you want to build something, and the specific objective of it is focused with the appropriate objectives. For example, if you want to build a car, right, or any product which is useful for your company or your organization. So once you have identified a kind of project that you want, then the process of implementing the project is necessary. So you need to plan properly how the project can be implemented or executed. At the end of the day, you have identified the project that you want to implement. Then you need to plan the process in making sure that you can achieve the project objectives. So like building a car, you come up with the types of car, with the design and all the specification that you have determined earlier. And then here, then you will develop a process to build the car as shown in this figure, where this example on how the process of the new project or developing a new types of car is implemented. So basically, in terms of the basic understanding of project, it is something when a business or any organization has to address a completely new task which required specialists from very different areas of work to work together. So project means that in terms of engineer perspective, it is a project which involves multiple tasks or multiple expertise to implement or to make sure that the objective can be obtained or delivered. And the task is contrary to a business operation, which are repetitive and also have long been practiced in the company. So a project is not a task. A task is something that is part of the project which is being done in that organization, or is being done repetitively for so long within the company. So a task of making a screw, right, nuts and bolts, which has been regularly or done repetitively in the company, is considered as a task. And also the responsibility and authority need to be assigned to somebody. So when a new project is assigned, the responsibility need to be given to an authority or a specific engineer or a staff to run the project, or at least to lead the project. And project is also the output of the project should provide the benefit of finding a common solution rapidly and effectively. It's not only a product, it can also be a process, a flow chart of doing things effectively and efficiently. So in overall, here the definition of a project would make sense, which it ensures a higher degree of flexibility as it goes beyond day-to-day operation. So if a company manufacturing a car, right, a brand, whatever brand new car, so it is a day-to-day operation that they build the same car. But when the management decide to build a new model, okay, something which is new, different what has been developed currently, so it is termed as a new project. So you're going to build a new type of product or new type of model of car that you would like to go. So basically the process and project different in number of aspects. A process which are ongoing, right? Is an ongoing business, ongoing task, or it is a day-to-day activities to produce goods and services. So it's just a normal process, whether they are a new product, right? Whether the new product is being produced, so the process going on. For example, as a customer services, right? It doesn't matter whether they are new product has been started or not. So they just give similar services to the customer. So a process of servicing customers in these terms called a normal process, and it is a day-to-day activities. And when a process means is use the existing systems, the properties and the capabilities, the same number of people, same machineries, same equipments, right? So it is a process where it is currently running. And also basically it is a repetitive process where the workers will do the same thing for a number of years. So the process has been going on for a long time or period of time. But when it comes to project, right, it is something new. So it takes place outside the normal day-to-day work, right? So it's a process oriented world. Okay, so for example, if you as a student, the regular process of you at the university is to go to the classes, to attend the classes, to take tests and exam. All right, so that's the process, the normal process that you will undergo as a student. But when you are requested to do a project, certain project or a assignment which is consists of the CSR activities, right, community service routine that you need to perform. So you have a project to help the community, right? So you will involve a new project. So the process, the normal process that you have undergo, that you are going to go to the class, but when there are one project that you need to do or to perform, such as the community services, so it considers as a project for you, which is beyond your day-to-day activities. So basically project will be a unique, right, and separate from your regular routine, and it will continually evolving. So it's project that you will improve, improvise, and also there will be a start and end. So basically a project is a temporary endeavor. That means there are a start and end of that particular project or product that you will perform. So how can we identify the project? So there are a few numbers of main characteristics of a project, which is number one, it is a unique. So it creates something new, right? In car manufacturing scenario, you are going to create a new model, so it's considered as a unique, and it's considered as a new project. So one of the characteristics of a project, that means it's unique. And number two, it has specific deliverables. The output can be a process, a product, or services. In terms of process, you want to determine a new way of doing things, or effectively doing things for the whatever process or product. right? It can be also services. So it's not necessarily a product. A new project can be services on how you're going to serve your stakeholders, your customers, or your client. And number three, when you say it is a project, there must be a specific due date. That means it has start and also a finish time. And number four, the characteristic of a project, it is not a business as usual. You don't do the same repetitive operation. So you will take a new steps to perform the activities for the project, which is beyond the normal activities that you do for quite a while. So these four main characteristics define a project, which are unique, has a specific deliverables, and it has specific due date, and it is not business as usual. But for formal definition of a project, which has been taken or given or defined by Project Management Institute in 2013, a definition of project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product or service or results. So whatever a new or unique either product or service or result, it considered as a project. A unit process can consist of a set of coordinated and controlled activities with start and finish dates, and it is undertaken to achieve specific objectives conforming to specific requirements, which include the constraint of time, okay, the duration of the whole project activities, and of course the cost and the resources involved. So activities that are undertaken to accomplish routine activities cannot be considered a project. That means any activities which is a routine, right, is not considered as a project. So only activities which is a new activities, which involve creating a new a product, process, is considered as a project activities. So there are project classification that involve especially here the infrastructure and construction projects. So it's considered as a project to build infrastructure, or you want to build a road, or you want to build a building, or any kind of infrastructure. A project is considered as a project, and it's also one of the project classification. And there are also industry focused project, which include industrial projects, which consists of a number of product that you would like to produce, and including in the industries focus projects consists of new development project, all right, which include theme park or any activities or housing for the community and so on, and also re-engineering projects of industry focused project, which also consists in the project classification. Another industry focused project is information system project, where you build a system for you to monitor the whatever that you wish to monitor in terms of developments, or in terms of the environmental monitoring system. So it is included in project, especially industry focused project. As mentioned earlier, the infrastructure construction can be divided into two: either the public need projects, for example hospitals, or corporate need project, offices, building, shops, and so on. So in order for you to implement a project, right, it's very important for you to have project management activities or planning to make sure that the project can be implemented successfully. So the planning, the monitoring and controlling of all aspects of project and the motivation of all those involved in it to achieve the project objective of time, specific time, to the specific cost, the quality as well as the performance. So this has been taken from the BS 6079 2000, which is the British Standard Documents titled Project Management, which in part 1 book Guide to Project Management. The planning, this is another definition of project management by ISO 10006 1997E, which is the international standard titled Quality Management Guidelines to Quality in Project Management. So these are some of the book or manual that you can refer to on the definition of the what is project management. So here in ISO they mention the planning, the organizing, monitoring and controlling of all aspects of the project in a continuous process to achieve its objectives. So these are the definition by ISO 10006. And another definition of project management by Project Management Institute of USA. This is Professional Management Society. Define the application of knowledge, skills, tools and techniques to project activities to meet project requirements. So basically, project management technique is about the planning and of course the timing, the scheduling of the project, and how you can make sure the project can be implemented successfully or achieve the objective is by monitoring all the processes, all the tasks and all the activities, and also controlling of resources, identifying the number of workers, the technology used, right, all the resources required for the particular project, time and of course the cost to produce the defined scope and the quality of work. So basically, project management per se is something, it is not new, right? So you have seen the various product, right, in the world, which include the Egypt's pyramids, the China's Great Wall, Cambodia's Angkor temples, Taj Mahal, Pisa, Eiffel Tower, etc. So these are some of the projects that has been implemented long time ago, and it's still there where you can still see it still exists. So this takes a proper planning in order to build all the building, all the infrastructure, all the products which we have seen still maintained until now. So it is not something that is just exists as it is. So it is something that somebody involved, and there are somebody who lead the project and make sure that the project is successful and sustainable until now. So it is not something new. So the project can be anywhere, anytime, that can be implemented based on the objective of that particular project. The modern projects consist of building satellite, building heavy machinery, and also building applications like the Grab, the food Grab, Grab car, and also there are the numbers of technology that's been built, like the Google, the Gmail, the Facebook. All are these modern project that's been taken place as a project, and is a very successful project which incur a huge amount of finance and also a number of people involved. So in order to produce a successful project, so we really need a way to manage how the project is implemented, because it involves many tasks, and many tasks do not fit neatly into business as usual. So you need to find out new ways to do things rather than the normal day-to-day activities that you are doing. So project management is important to ensure a proper expectation are set around what can be delivered, by when, by whom, and how much the project costs. So this need to be determined earlier so that the project will become successful. And the effective of project managers. When you have a project management, there must be a project managers should be able to make sure to make sure that the implementation of project can be realized accordingly and suits with the project objective. So effective project managers should be able to negotiate reasonable and achievable deadlines and milestone across all stakeholders. That means the project manager should be able to estimate the completion of the task, or the completion of the overall project along the project execution. So project characteristic, as mentioned earlier, all right, it's unique, of course, and it has a specific deliverables, and must have the timing. There must be a start and finishing date, and also most of the project involve multidisciplinary expertise or fields, and it can be very complex activities which involve the different kind of technologies, different kind of knowledge, different kind of activities, and different kind of people. Conflicting may be arise due to the complexity of the activities. So there is very important for the project manager to solve conflicting issues in order to make sure the project can be done accordingly. So there are many programs which is part of the project activities. So it's very important to manage all the programs to be executed accordingly, to make sure the project can achieve the successful or the objective of the project. So basically it is temporary. Once you start it, and then you start and then you finish the project, so the project will be abandoned, right? So there will be a new project that you need to execute. So a project, as I said, is temporary, where you have the start and finish time. So it can be abandoned and a new project will come up. And of course, it is a complex task, a complex activity, so it needs resources from different sources or multiple sources. So it is required because it's a multidisciplinary task, and usually it has primary customers that request such product or such services, right? That means you build something for somebody, right? So there will be a primary a client or customer to it, and of course somebody will sponsor the project based on their objective of involving in the project. Of course, if it's a businessman, they would like to have some profit out of the project that they will gain. And something that you have to accept, there are uncertainties of project where you will face some delay, you will face some difficulties to find the technologies available to implement the project and so on. So a project is defined broadly at the beginning, all right? So you start with something that you want to build, all right, very broadly, and then later on, slowly, then you need to define the specific details of the product or the process that you would like to implement. So here, projects can be divided according to these parameters. Number one, the type of work, whether it is building or industrial machinery. And the nature of work can be repetitive. You can have multiple repetitive works, also non-repetitive, or it can be a combination of repetitive and non-repetitive. And the mode of execution can be, depending on the size of the project, it can be department based, or it can be a contract based, or it can be a combination of department, one specific group of people, or a combination of, and with the contract. And also project completion time, you can have a very long projects, or you can have a medium or a short. Long can take you 10, maybe 15 years, maybe 20 years, right? Depending on the scale of the project. You can have a medium completion time, or you can have a short time. And then regarding finance, the money that involved, it can have a huge financial implication, or it can have a large, medium, and small. So a thing that you cannot avoid regarding is risk level, whether you can have no risk, you can have a low risk, you can have medium risk, or you can have high risk. Of course, the higher risk is the higher impact of the project, right? In terms of the business, you have more profit. Okay, so these are the things that you have to face, or you have to determine earlier before you can embark on the particular project. And there are also a mode of procurement on how you're going to implement, whether you're going to build, right? You just want to build the building, the design will be done by somebody else. You can also have a design and build. You design it, and you can also build it, right? You can also build, operate, and transfer. You design, you build, and you operate. This is especially for building, or sometimes for also machinery, like apartment, right? So you design, you build, and also you operate, right? And you can also transfer to your customers after a long time of your operation. So basically, this is mainly for civil engineering mode of procurement. So we have defined project management, the main characteristic of project, okay, and the need for project management. So there are a difference between project management and general management. So project, as we say, is a unique project, right? So it's a temporary, it has start and end time. Okay, after the project completion, it will be abandoned. So there are different characteristics between project management and also general management. So there are some of the differences between these two. So in general management, it consists of the process managing. The process is continuous process, and it's a single state. That means you just manage it based on regular process that you are going on. And of course there are objectives, but there's no clear single objective for that particular management. No real start and end points, right? So there's no end or start. Not much on emphasis on planning, so you don't really do the planning, you just do as a normal activities. Resource and machines related, product or process oriented, so usually this is product or process oriented, repetitive, and this is non-unique. A very simple team building which consists of number of peoples who can just do the same thing over and over again, and it act as a role of manager, and team membership is permanent or long term. So different from project management, where the responsibility of project management is only during the specific time of the duration of the project. So it will move from one state to another, results in change. So sometimes it can be it can act like a different individual. Okay, it need to perform the job of for example negotiation, and then it will perform monitoring, adjustment, and so on. A very clear objective which is very specific, and then it has a start and end points. Greater needs and emphasis on planning, because the project based on specific duration, so it is important to emphasis on a proper planning. It involves also more human resource related, more skills human resource related as well. Okay, instead of product or process oriented, is project oriented. It's more complicated. It is non-repetitive and quite unique. A complex team building, team members. All right, the role of manager and team membership is temporary. As mentioned earlier, it's a temporary activities where you have start and end. So once the projects end, so the team members will be dissolved. So here are some of the project management competence required in order for you to perform a successful project. Okay, number one, integration management. So you need to understand in terms of management knowledge on how you perform integration, especially for different level of competency. Human resource management, you need to understand the number of human, the number of hours that can be implemented for the particular project, and of course on how you're going to manage the stakeholders, and also there are capital effectiveness management, procurement management, on how you're going to procure your materials and so on. So there are also a knowledge on the project scope of management, time management, how you're going to manage the execution of the project. You need to understand how to manage the cost, and quality management in terms of monitoring, and you should be able to identify the risk of the project and how to solve difficulties during the project implementation. And in terms of the leadership, you should understand on how to become a good leaders, effective leaders, and how you're going to communicate with the team members. So it is becoming a very important competence. And finding sponsorship or finding mentor to help you with the project. And you need to understand the health and safety environment that is necessary for all the team members or the staff working for the particular project. And you also need to understand how to organize the team members, and also managing all the resources. And as one of the competency of leadership is to understand the ethical behavior of your team members, and how you're going to help in order to make the project successful by understanding their ethics or their behavior. And you should have your own personal skills to manage a project. So you should have a very good communication skill in terms of delivering the ideas, in terms of the presenting the project. And you should also have skills to influence people, to negotiate with people, so that they're able to perform some of the tasks given for them to in the project. And also you should be more innovative on how you're going to negotiate or solve some of the problem during the project implementation. And one of the things one most important thing is the skill to solve the problem, because most of the project are complicated, complex. It needs somebody who has the ability to make decisions, and also problem solving. And you must have the skills to work in team. Right, there are people who cannot work with team because they don't have a very good communication skills. So in order for you to manage or to lead a project, to make sure the project management is effective, you should have the skill or the personal skill to work as a team.